All right, so this is for if you pick to work independently or if you somehow were not on class Thursday to go through these examples. So, example 1. The city year, Isabel, felt a little reckless, so she decided to be shot out of a cannon, because, who wouldn't? The height in feet of Isabel is given by the function f of x equals negative x plus 1 times x minus 5, where x represents the distance in feet that Isabel goes away from the cannon. So this is a graph of the function with Isabel being shot out of the cannon. So the first thing we want to do is find those key features. So our vertex is up here. So this tells me to mark it in red. So on Classkick to mark it, this is my pen mode. So I click my pen, then I go over here and I can change the color. So I'm going to change it to red. So I know my vertex is right here. So I'm going to mark that in red. So I'm going to go back to my little select mode so I can write my answer. So if I look for my vertex, I go over here, it's 2, 9. So whenever you put a point, you want to put parentheses. And notice this is correct because up here it'll show you. So that's my vertex. Then my y-intercepts. So my y-intercepts, I'm going to write in purple. So y-intercept is where it crosses at the y-axis, so it's right here. And what that point is 0, 5. Again, I know that's right because it changed it here. I'm going a little bit fast over this part because this should be something we already know how to do. Then our zeros. Oh, wait, that's blue and that's purple. It's been a long night, y'all. So let's pretend this is blue. I'm going to redraw over it. All right, that's blue. The zeros are going to be purple. So the zeros, remember, are the x-intercepts. So I have 1 here, and I have 1 here. So I know I have one of them that looks like it's -1, 0. And I'm going to put a comma to show that I'm going to the next thing. And the other one is at 5, 0. And nope, I'm correct. Then the axis of symmetry. So the axis of symmetry we want to be in orange. I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to actually literally add a line. This might not be orange though. Doesn't really matter. It's fine. So I'm going to add my line there. It's green, not orange. I know what you mean. It's fine if you use it. If you do the pen though, make sure the pen you go here and do orange and physically draw that line. It's a little weird looking because I'm bad at drawing a straight line. So the axis of symmetry, remember, it's always going to be x equals, and this is at x equals 2. So the first part you want to do is always go through and find your key features. The new part is the context. So that's why we had this word problem. So first we want to figure out, all right, what the heck does the x represent and what does the y represent? So we go back to our word problem to figure it out. So what does the x-axis represent? So I'm reading, oh, look, I can also highlight if I want to. It literally says the x represents the distance in feet. So I know what that is. So I would write the x is distance. All right, now let's figure out the y. So remember the y is the same thing as f of x, something like that. So I'm going to read city year. She felt a little reckless, was shot out of a cannon. Ooh, the height is given by the function. So remember, f of x is the same thing as y. So whenever it says this is what the function represents, that is what your y-axis represents. So in this case, it's our height. Now we go into the actual, what the heck are we doing here? So the first question here is, how many feet away from the cannon does Isabel land? So she's flying. She lands right here at this x-intercept. So she lands 5, oops, 5 at 5, but we need units. We don't want any naked numbers. So she lands 5 feet away because up here it said in feet. Then it asks, what is the maximum height reached by Isabel? So I go back to this. Where's the height? Ooh, this is the highest point right here, our vertex. And the height is the y-axis, so that 9. So that means 9 feet is the highest that she gets. Our next question is how many feet away from the cannon is Isabel when she reaches her maximum height? So because it's asking away, it's asking our distance. So our answer should be located on the x-axis. So we know this is the tallest point, was at 9 feet, but we want to know how far away was she. So I go down here, and it's where my x is 2. So that means it's 2 feet away. Then, the very last thing, how tall is the cannon? Well, I go look at my cannon here. All right, it starts here. This is my starting point, my y-intercept. And we already said our y-intercept was 0, 5. So that means my cannon is 5 feet. So this is an example of how you want to look through it. So you can use the highlighter feature to figure out important facts from your example. You can do the key features here based off of the graph. Make sure you are both writing the answers and you are drawing on the graph. The reason I want you to draw on the graph as well is so when you get back to these in context questions, you can already really easily be like, oh, I can find all my information super, super fast. So I'm only going to go over this one example for this independent work version. Make sure you're pressing the ask for help button if you need me. If I'm with you right now, then that's cool. We're just going to keep moving on if I can figure out how to end this. Okay, there we go.